Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Conscious Partners Network. We are Rockers Corner Radio,
Alive.
Stargate Promotions Radio,
Alive.
Kingdom Nubia Radio,
Alive.
Stone Vibes Radio,
Alive.
Ito On Air Radio,
Alive.
Culture Vibes Radio,
Alive.
Roots Dynamic Radio,
Alive.
Afro-Carib Radio,
Alive.
Reggae Wave Radio,
Alive.
Reggae Storm Radio.
Alive.
We are raising the awareness of artists across the globe.
Alive.
Stockade Radio presents the Reggae Business Talk Show. The Reggae Business Talk Show is a show about knowledge, a show about information, a show where we arm you, the artist, with the tools needed to navigate your way through the music business, the business of music. Sit back and relax and listen. This is the Reggae Business Talk Show on Stockade Promotions Radio. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Stockade Promotions Radio, and or the Stockade staff. The information given on this radio program is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice.
Once again, you're welcome to the Reggae Business Talk Show. The show that arms you with the knowledge. We've been away for a little while, and we're back with a vengeance. The piece you're listening to right now is called Dr. Strange Dub's Echo Chamber, produced by the great man himself, Dubby, and he's here. Oh gosh. So I'm going to introduce you to the panel. Just bear with me while I get myself together. Do remember, as per usual, we're simulcasting this show on Rockers Corner Radio, and we're also simulcasting this show on Storm Vibes Radio. This is Starcade Radio, so do keep it locked. Now, Skype's been acting up lately, so I'm hoping my panel are here. So let me start with, do we have the scientists in the building?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Do we have Evelyn?
Yes, I'm here.
Amen. Do we have Chris?
Yes, present, sir.
Do we have Sharon?
Yes.
All right. Do we have Fitzroy?
Present, Stentor General.
And do we have Dubby?
Yes, sir.
Dubby, great piece right there, man.
Yeah, bless up, man. I appreciate that you playing it.
I want to introduce our listeners to the panel. Just bear with me, please, because I'm just going through one of those moments today. We have people logged in from Trinidad and Tobago, the United States, Peru, and Colombia. We have Canada, and we have the UK. So maximum respect going out to each and every one logged in. I also want to bless up all those who have helped to share, the post about the show going on today. Maximum respect. Right, we're just going to do the introductions and then we'll just kick into the show. Let's start with scientists. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? I am the scientist, aka Overton Brown, or whichever way you want to put it. I'm here to enlighten those who don't know about the dirty side and to the laws of music, so we can protect some of these young artists so they don't have to go through some of the headache that I have to go through with these crooked record companies.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let's start with Dubby Doo. Dubby Doo, introduce yourself.
Dubby Do. I own a little label and studio and do reggae and dub, history of reggae, and a little bit of everything with reggae and dub. I appreciate having me again.
You're welcome, sir. It's always a blessing and an honor to have you part of the show.
Yeah, man, enough respect.
As I go along, just bear with me because I'm tweaking as I go along. Skype's been acting up, so bear with me. Right, who's next? Fitzroy.
Well, Fitzroy Francis, record producer, Multiple 13 Records. Also dabbling some poetry and quotes, road manager for various artists and advocate for the rights and the protection of the industry, across the board. And welcome, thanks to our General and all the panels and guests.
Yes, we have Chris, Mama D, Sharon, so many people logged in. Let's come to Evelyn. She's our new panelist featuring on our show today. So, Evelyn, how are you? And introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever part of the world you are in today. My name is Evelyn Germain. I am here representing Room Music FM. I also speak to artists every day on a regular. So my reason for being here today is to learn from you all, fine panelists, and also to be able to speak from the artist's point of view, the questions that they have in order to be able to help them to be enlightened and help them to help themselves.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Let's come to Chris.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Chris Hills, and in partnership with Kofi, we have a small, very small boutique record label and management support company. It's our role really to help emerging artists get the first step on the ladder and to also learn all of the pitfalls of the music business before they venture further.
Thank you so much, Chris. And Sharon, who's our new PR person, she's doing a great job in helping us to do a lot of posting in the Facebook page. But she's going to introduce herself. Sharon, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello, Sharon Bentley here. I'm here to help Stockade Radio and the Reggae Showbiz, to send out the information to the artists, to help them get what they need, during their lifetime, protect them by certain things.
Thank you, Sharon. And I'm General Culture, the CEO of Stockade. Anything to do with Stockade, that's me. And I'm just like everybody else. We're just passionate about getting that right information out to the relative people who want it. We've heard so many stories in our lifetime. I've interviewed so many people who, to this day, are still going through some trouble and some strife. I'm wondering if we don't have him here, do we? Thriller, where's Thriller? All right, I've got to add him to the show. Just bear with me while I add Thriller to the show. Let's see if we can get him. Skype's acting up, I tell you. Let's see if we can get the original Thriller. All right, we're just waiting for him to respond. Once again, I've interviewed so many people who are going through so much trauma in their career, and Thriller, who's going to be our guest during the latter part of this show, he's going to be telling us what he's going through as a producer and an artist, and we're going to try and point him in the right direction. So, pending the time we can get hold of Thriller to introduce himself, we're going to kick into the show. And the very first thing we're going to be talking about is intellectual royalties in the music business. I guess we'll come to scientists to kick it off.
General, can we just mention Dennis before we move on?
Yes, let's do that. Sadly, we've lost Dennis Dreadstone, who, during the latter part of the show that we did, the very last show that we actually did, as you well know, Dreadstone was part of the show, the Reggae Biz talk show. And he loved it so much that he wanted to come back, to join us further. Unfortunately, I had to step back from the show for a little while, and we're back here today. During that time, I saw a post from Fitzroy, and I really couldn't believe it. What I was hearing that he had passed on. So today we just want to send our condolences. I want to come to Fitzroy because he's the gentleman um, that I saw the message from. So Fitzroy, share some words
Yes,
about
yes, 10 Star General.
yeah, share some
Yeah, man.
words.
Condolence to the family of Dennis Stone. Well, I saw Michelle Garden. I saw Michelle Garden, who is Dennis singer. Dennis introduced me to put up a post. So I reached out to her, and she was expressing to me that he died on Thursday. Around his family and loved ones. And she was crying and thing. So just put up that post to make the loved ones them aware that we have lost a great mind in the music.
Yeah,
Extremely. Who wants to share some words, Chris?
I'd just like to say that I got to know Dennis through the show and have chatted with him, and he's a absolute gentleman who I would suggest is the way that the music business should be.
Yeah. Sharon?
yeah. I must also say that I met him also through the show, and thank God that I got the opportunity to, because after hearing him speak about the music and how things supposed to be run, or in his from his point of view, it just say why the reggae business shows should continue.
Yes, very true. Thank you so much, Sharon. Dubby Doo.
Yeah, it's funny, it just it's I was thinking about him in the studio probably for the last couple of weeks when he said about on the last show about, people try to rush stuff out and they try to they have some great music, they have some great albums, whatever, but they try to rush it out. He was really just on my mind the whole time about, quality and this and that. It's just, yeah, it's a real bummer, yo. It's a real bummer.
It really is. Who do we come to next? Let's come to Evelyn.
Well, I didn't know him personally, but the what I do know of him, he sounds like a really amazing man. My sincere condolences goes out to his entire family, everybody who he left behind, including family and friends. And I pray that God will bless everyone with the peace and comfort with this great loss. So
Thank,
sorry he's gone.
thank you so much, Evelyn. And last but not least, let's come to the scientist.
Well, the next one is gone. I believe that we are living in hell and there has to be a better place here than what we are going through this current lifetime on earth. So my condolences goes out to all his family and his loved one. Each of us, as from what he's been shown, been making that same move that he made to the other side. Hopefully he can link up with Tubbies and Bob Marley and the rest of them down there and keep making some great music in the spirit world.
Yes, he was a real great man, and to know him personally and confided so much in me. I guess what I would like to share with everyone that I do know was that he accepted Jesus in his life before he died, and that's a blessing in itself. So we pray for his soul to rest in perfect peace. It's now 6:42, and what I want to do is each and every one of us out there, I just want us to remain in silence for just 1 minute, please, and just reflect. 1 minute, starting from now. Thank you, each and every one. Boy, it's been a very difficult week. Um, let's kick off the show. Let's talk about intellectual royalties in the music business. Let's kick it off with a scientist. Scientist, you there? How is he gone missing?
Yeah, I was hoping you would probably start off this with Chris Hill with a topic, and then I would go into the other issues surrounding moral rights. So I think Chris should start off this one.
Okay, so you go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Intellectual property rights probably the easiest to explain, and it's surrounding the rights for songwriters. So that's the people that write the lyrics and the people that create the melody for a song. And there's a copyright process that we normally advise everybody to do the normal thing, and after they've composed a song or part of a song is to mail it back to themselves with registered mail, just to make sure that the copyright is recorded and dated.
Right.
But the next most important point about protecting intellectual rights is to join a performing rights association and register the work. Now, songwriters can either be the lyricist and the composer, or both. And there's also a further category for an arranger, which is somebody that contributes to either rearranging the lyrics or rearranging the melody on a song, and they're entitled to a share of the copyright as well.
Why did you want to revisit this particular topic again?
I think the emphasis we kept putting on with every show is that for people to register their work before they expose it. Because the minute it's exposed, it can be exploited. Right. And if you haven't got the security of having registered it, then you can get into all kinds of problems later down the line. If someone's robbed it and released it before you, or recorded it before you, and all manner of things. It's just making sure your work is protected. And it also puts you in a good position when you go forward and anything is created off that work, like a sound recording, a cover song, right, or anything like that, because you are in control of that. To determine whether it happens or not is the copyright owner's responsibility and belongs to them.
Can you just confirm for me that mailing it back to yourself is no longer outdated and non-valid?
No, I always suggest to everybody to do that.
Okay.
Because, you know, as the very, very first thing that they do, before they even get down to the point of registering it, is to make sure that they've established their copyright around their work. But immediately after, register it so that, and remember, these performing rights associations are the ones that grant licenses for use of that work. Right. So if someone wants to create a sound recording from it, then they have to get a license for that purpose.
Right. Sharon, if you wouldn't mind, could you just please pay attention to some of the questions that might be asked in the chat room, yeah?
Okay.
Thank you so much. I want to go out to the panel. Does anybody want to ask any questions on this?
No, I want to emphasize something if no one have nothing to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to elaborate more than on what Chris was saying, because, you know, protecting the rights. So we're talking about the earning or revenue from the works when it is being released in the public domain. Because, you know, mechanical royalties is really one of the most important revenue.
Right.
You know, and the term in the terms, when we say mechanical rights, the terms is like per unit payment, you know, which is supposed to be paid by the record company to your publisher for the reproduction of your musical works or whatever, and, you know, in every way, like in all formats, like CDs, cassette, tape, vinyl, album, you know, we are in a digital age now. So, you know, for gross purpose and earning, it is very important that we understand this.
I think we're going to cover that after scientist has
Yeah.
talked about moral rights,
Right.
Fitzroy, because that's the most complicated part that needs the longer conversation around it.
Who wants to take up?
I just want to add to what Chris. Yeah,
Mm,
I just want to add to what Chris said
go ahead.
about mailing back to yourself
Mm,
to members of the Bern Convention. Anybody that any country that is a member country of the Bern Convention, which pretty much the whole world is, and what Chris talking about mailing back to yourself, they call that poor man's copyright. So any country that is
I think you're chipping in and out, scientists. I think due to
member
your
are a
signal.
member country of the Berne Convention, that copyright will be upheld. And the Berne Convention also said it's not mandatory because yeah, so all the member countries of the Berne Convention recognize what Chris recommended, the poor
Right.
man copyright, which is mailing it back to yourself.
Right. Yeah, you're chipping in and out, so you might want to look where your signal is and see if you can find a stronger signal because you're chipping in and out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we recognize with a scientist, he's on a delay right there. So if we can just
Yeah.
all remember that.
Can you hear me any better?
We can hear you, but you're on a delay.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Okay. Anybody want to add anything to what has already been said? Okay. So can we move on to mechanical royalties for sound recordings? Who's taking that up?
No, before we go there, General, let scientists talk about the moral rights because they're closely connected with the intellectual rights.
Okay. I'm going in order.
Just a
as it-
moment, just a moment, please. Jen is asking, how does the artist that does a cover song get paid?
The artist that does a cover song needs to get a license from the copyright holders before it's recorded. The only payment they get is whatever arrangements they've made with the sound recording people, the producer, the record label, as a performance royalty. They don't get any part of the copyright around the song, only the recording.
Ah.
Another question from her, how does it work when it is a cover song? It's just, I guess you just answer that too.
Well, the copyright holders, the owners of the intellectual copyright, will get paid a percentage. It's 8.5% in Britain, 9.1 cents in America if it's under 5 minutes for every copy of that song, because it is their written work. So they'll always get that. As for other royalties connected to the sound recording, that depends on the deal that's done with the record label or the producer.
Right.
Okay, I have a question as well.
Go ahead.
Question comes from Gary Revelation Dixon. Text reads, if a bass player comes into a studio to do a session on a track that has already been composed, both music and lyrics, but has no written bass line, could the bass player be credited for that and receive royalties for his part in the bass line?
No.
No. Okay.
No, not unless it really affects the melody of the composition.
Right, okay.
If he plays something that was written, then he has no link to the composition. If somebody has wrote the part and give it to him.
Okay, so if he made it up himself, so the song, the melody's written, but it has no bass line whatsoever, and he thinks, this sounds good, let me try this, and they agree to use it, does he
Well,
credit for that?
he's known as one of the writers.
Okay. I think that's the question. I think that's the answer he's looking for.
On the music.
On the music, okay.
Yeah, it's two parts. The person who write the lyrics and then the people who write the music or compose the music. So he'd be known as a writer and composer of the music.
Lovely.
If he contributes to it.
Thank you very much, scientist.
I think what's important, Evelyn, there is that that's by agreement with the copyright holders.
Okay.
It's something that needs to be arranged by them. You can't just make a claim on it.
Right.
You know, it would have really have to, because when we talk about composition, it is the melody not necessarily the composition, which falls under arrangement.
Ah, okay,
Well,
I
well,
see.
it's two different part of it. For example, a scenario where a set of musicians got together and they made up some instrumental, right, without thinking of any singer, right, and they made up this instrumental without thinking of any singer, and each musician came up with their own part. The bass player came up with his own bass line. Nobody didn't instruct any of the musicians what to do. Then 20 years later, or one day later, a singer decided to write words to those music, right? The people who created the music, they all jointly own the composition and the music, and then the person who write the lyrics entitled to 100% of whatever they wrote, because two of them was created and created separately.
Right.
Thank you.
So whatever you write, whatever you create, you are the first owner. If you had somebody else create it, then you are the first owners.
So what contribution does for instance somebody who writes maybe two lines of a song, what contributions do they get?
It's done by
Well,
the
if you come at
percentage.
if it,
General.
well if you
Go
come at
ahead.
the end of the song and you play ping
Mm,
right at the end of the song,
yeah.
then you're known as a writer.
Right.
So if it's when you're doing the split sheet, I don't know if anybody had a copy of the split sheet.
Right.
But when you register in the song, at ASCAP BMI gonna ask you who the writers are.
Right.
And to all the people who contribute,
Mm,
they're known as writers. And then what a lot of people is now learning, right? Because I am enforcing my rights. But scientists, you're just an engineer, and these are just dubs.
mm,
Well, when you're looking at the copyright form or the registration form, it have parts inside here for remixers,
mm. I
right? So anything that you contribute
mm,
musically, you becomes a writer.
yeah. Chiller. Chiller. Okay, we've lost him. Okay.
I just think that we need to make sure that we're very clear about
Mm,
the sound recording and the rights around the sound recording compared to the rights around a songwriter, which is the intellectual part.
okay.
Because obviously everybody that contributes to a sound recording, it forms part of the right. They're entitled to the rights around the mechanical royalties, unless they're signed away by a work for hire agreement.
Right.
Which is what the record label will try to do, but you don't have to do it. The only reason why the record label trying to get you to do that, because their lawyers know this is what the law requires
Mm,
and what the Berne Convention demands and what international law demands in order for it to be work for hire. You must have something in writing, and but it's not something you have to agree to. If a record company say sign work for hire, you should say no.
right. But that split sheet is very important.
Yeah, we've got an
Uh,
example of it if anyone wants it. I've just
yeah.
posted one out today to a producer over
Well,
here.
and can I butt in here for a second?
Go ahead.
I just want to mention also too now on the writing, and then it's like most people don't understand too, the publishing too. Unless you sign that away, you're due the publishing unless you agreed and signed with a record label or whoever. But most people don't understand not only the writing side of it and the publishing side of it. Like even with me, you have to have hook up with ASCAP as a writer, right? And then you have to hook up with ASCAP as a publisher to claim both, because it's 50-50 on both sides, publishing and writing. And then like scientists and Chris were saying, the writing split breaks down to the who was contributing this and that. But even if you didn't sign something away, like I think scientists said this before too. If somebody gave you $1 million to make something and you didn't sign anything that says that you give up your publishing or your writing, you're still, that's yours. You know, they could pay you as much money as they wanted to, but unless it's in writing that you've given up your rights and such, they can't do anything.
Well, we could cite a case for that ruling. There was a case in America, creative nonviolence versus Reed, where creative nonviolence paid the sculpture Reed 500,000 to create a sculpture. The similar thing like when you go inside of a studio, you pay the bass guy, you pay the musician, I'm the producer, I paid for everything, so I own it because I paid for it. Creative nonviolence, Reed said no after getting the 500,000. Creative nonviolence went and placed a suit. One court agreed with creative nonviolence. You paid him 500,000. You are the producer. You own it. It went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court reversed the lower court ruling and says it doesn't matter how much money Reed got. Work for hire has to be in writing. So for those who don't know, it's not the amount of money that you pay. By accepting the money at the time of the session is no way saying I give up my rights to whatever I create. And this is what producers and a lot of record labels not understanding. Not because the guy is a producer and he paid for the session, it doesn't mean that he owns the copyright and the sound recording or the musical composition. So that case has been reversed.
Go ahead, scientist.
Thriller, can you mute your mic, please?
It's not a valid ruling. Matter of fact, it's an illegal ruling. Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, scientist.
Yeah, so that case already been heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. They don't have to hear any other case. It's already set precedents for all courts to follow in America.
I think there's something wrong with the e-signal.
No, it's okay. I think what scientist is saying there is just
read
in and out.
Yeah, it's e-signal.
Basically, what he's saying is the law's been reinforced that unless there is something in writing that says it was work for hire and you've signed away your rights to the sound recording, you have no further claim on it other than what you've been paid at the time that you were involved with it. And that will affect everybody.
Yep.
Everybody from an engineer all the way up to a backing singer.
Yep.
That's correct. That's correct, Chris. It has to be in writing. So because that's the law, right? The lawyers write contracts in contrary to what the law is that says you must give the record company your copyright, but you don't have to. It doesn't matter how much money they're paying you.
There is a question in the chat room from Prince Tim. Explain how the venture at Greensleeve, the vultures, and surely go. Sorry, the vultures at Greensleeve, aka Greensleeve, can get away with their upcoming release of Scientist Wins the World Cup as what? John just present win.
Can I put in here?
Well.
I don't think people understand though, but I think that they need to understand what happened though about this release. There's something that's in the last couple of weeks or a month has happened that people probably don't know, and that's why he's probably asking about. And I don't know, I know personally that.
Well, that would be the next subject that we're going to talk about, so we can come to that, isn't it? Moral rights, right?
Yeah, but it's good that the audience asked the question.
Yes, and I tell you what, let's answer that during the next question. But let's just round this particular round of questions up, and then we'll come to that almost immediately. Yeah.
I want to say something on a producer point, General.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't to the question I asked the lady and the answer that scientist gave. I want, as a producer who a producer, you come with your melody, you come with your idea, and you tell a bassman, say, I want you to play this bass for me. Maybe you can't define it in keys or chords, but you give him sounds, and you give even the beat, the drummer sounds too. That is also intellectual property rights.
Right.
That is our producer, as what scientists and Chris say, can become owner of a sound recording, because him give idea
Right.
to the musicians, and them them create it in a rhythm form. So I just want for the lady that asked a question about a bass player coming in and play a bass too,
It's
I just want to
interesting you
respond to
should
that.
say that, Fitzroy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fitzroy. I appreciate that.
It's interesting you should say that, because they had Spike Lee's documentary on Michael Jackson on, and they were saying that Michael used to come in and sing all the instrumental parts to the musicians that were in the studio. So he'd sing the bass line to them and sing the guitar chords to them.
Well, Michael Jackson would be the writer. Michael Jackson would be the owner writer then.
That's right, because he gave them the absolute directions,
Yeah, man, that's what I was saying as a producer, because we know a lot of scientists were saying, but through some, I just want to make that point, so they could understand. So
Hey,
can come in on a session.
If a producer comes in on a session and he tells the bass line and tells everybody, then he is also a writer.
Yes, that's what I was emphasizing.
Yeah. But in the case of a bunch of producers who didn't pay any money, they just know some people, or some people trying to help them to better them life, right? And do them favors, which they still owe a bunch of money, and then they become producers. They don't own copyrights, which is what we're going to get later.
If they're not part of the composition, I do believe it's only 3%, right? If the producer had nothing to do with it,
well, the producer's royalty is 3%.
Yeah, if he had nothing to do with it, not like you guys are talking about, where if he's part of it.
If you own 3% of something, it doesn't mean you can make all the decision on something that you own. Especially if you only limit it to 3%. Just imagine a president of a company that owns 3% is making all the decision for everybody else. It doesn't sound sensible, right?
Well, and I think you've mentioned a couple of times, scientists, that they can't assign rights. A producer can't assign copyrights and can't do anything they want with it because they don't technically own it about 3%, so they can't go
right. So
basically pressing and doing what they want to.
Was trying to push.
Well, and like Jalai said, I remember he said before, enough times you have to cop a pressing plan. He said enough, and you always have to find out that, man, somebody's ripping you off. And it's ridiculous that anybody who had nothing to barely do with it now is trying to press it, do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Okay. In regards to this,
when we get on to the moral rights, you'll see that the amount of control that the copyright owners, the songwriters, have over anything that happens to a song. Yeah?
Chris.
Yes, did you hear me?
Say that again.
I said when we get to the moral rights, you'll see how deep and what control songwriters have over their work.
Right. Well, if we finish with the first topic, can we jump on to the next one? Okay. Let's come to UK intellectual property and moral rights. Or intellectual property and moral rights. Let's just leave it at that. And let's come to scientist. Have we lost him? Oh, Lord. Skype is acting up today.
Can I bump in for a second though here?
Go ahead.
What was the question that was asked in the chat room that she was asking about?
It was about contribution. It was to do with VP Records.
Just recently, she said somebody asked about a release.
All right.
Somebody asked about a release.
Hold on.
Okay. I think I know what. That was from Prince Tim. To explain how the Vulture at Greensleeve, aka Greensleeve, can get away with their upcoming release of Scientist Wins the World Cup as John Joe present win. That was the
Well, what they've been trying to do, right? And they're learning the hard way. I took them to court in France. The court in France ruled against them that they don't own any rights because they are claiming that they get the rights, they bought the right from the producer. Well, producer can't assign rights. That's the first thing. He's not an artist. They try to tell a court. Why is his image, name, and photograph all over the record as the first court? The court didn't buy anything of what I'm saying. So the court ruled against him with all five albums. I, as the legal, lawful copyright owner who created that work, have the right to license it. I license it to the Russian. They tried to stop it legally. They couldn't stop it because of the court ruling. So they're thinking now, okay, let's take off scientists who created this work and it's been known for over 30 years as this title and just put the producer name on it. Well, under moral rights, if you could post the link there, I am protected because I am the copyright holder. I am the author, and I have a right to object to it. Now, does anybody here want to say producers can produce dub? Junja can produce dub. We are always helping Junjo, is what people don't know. This was a guy that was on the wrong side of things and decided to clean up his life, and we always helping him. So, because Green Sleeve owe me a lot of money, and even if they sell it like that, they still owe me money. They still owe me money that they're not going to be able to get around under moral rights. So, Sharon, could you read moral rights and explain what moral rights is for them so they could hear it?
I just posted in the chat room.
Yeah. Well, it would be good if somebody could read just on moral rights.
I've got it up, scientist. Let me read it through. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, moral what rights? Works often mean more than just the economic value they can generate from their exploitation. They can be very special to the person who creates them, as they have invested a lot of work emotionally and or intellectually. As a result, copyright works need to be protected in ways that are different to traditional forms of property. Moral rights protect those non-economic interests. Moral rights are only available for literary, dramatic, musical and artistic works and film, as well as some performances. Unlike economic rights, moral rights cannot be sold or otherwise transferred. However, the rights holder can choose to waive these rights, sign them away. There are 4 moral rights recognized in the UK. The right to attribution. This is the right to be recognized as the author of a work. The right needs to be asserted before it applies. For example, in a contract with a publisher, an author may state that they assert their right to be identified as the author of the work. The right to object to derogatory treatment of work. Derogatory treatment is defined as any addition, deletion, alteration to, or an adaptation of a work that amounts to a distortion or mutilation of the work, or is otherwise prejudicial to the honor or reputation of the author. The right to object to false attribution. This is the right not to be named as an author of a work you did not create. This would prevent, for example, a well-known author being named as the author of a story they did not write. And the final right under moral rights is the right to privacy of certain photographs and films. This right enables someone who has commissioned a photograph or film for private and domestic purposes to prevent it from being made available or exhibited to the public. For example, this would allow you to prevent a photographer from putting your wedding photographs on their website without your permission. And I guess that's easily translatable to artists that are performing, etc., etc. That's the form
On the
of rights.
moral rights, they stop they foot in there. You know what? I'm going to follow the lady's advice today. They had a discussion with me prior to this thing to kind of not to pour a little sugar over my words because we have some people that is very sensitive. But if you could imagine what I'm saying, where they stop their foot, right, on the moral rights, how they think they're going to get away with this? Moral rights there clearly says it. So it becomes deliberate to evade the ruling against them in France. Well, hey, guess what? The other thing, and I don't know what stupid lawyer advising them. They think scientists doesn't know the law. So under moral rights, they stop their foot. Imagine where I'm saying they put it. It's showing willful violation. And trust me, folks, we've been talking about all the false King Tubby's albums. Well, here's more proof.
Well,
Here's more proof right within our eyes, right here, what Greedy Sleeves is doing.
and that's why I understand what the it might be like you don't want to talk about it, but this is what we're talking about on the show. And not only now have you all, the thing is, I don't think people understand is they actually altered the image too now. They took out scientists of the album and put in a different image and took a name out, his name off it, and put in somebody else's name. So not only are they changed the name now, they're also putting in a different image. And like I said, maybe don't talk about it on some levels, but this is what we're talking about every other Sunday. This is the main thing we're talking about.
Well, to me, that's fraud.
It should be addressed. Exactly.
To me, that
is fraud.
And to do this to the public after, like scientists said, 30 years these albums been out, and now you're going to do this to the public. I don't know. It just shows.
But here's what the whole thing about it. Junja can't create dub. We all knew what happened to both Junja and Linval after I stopped working with them. They can't put out anything near that again. Junja or Linval was never on the session present. What Junja has to do with the creation of the dub? Tell me, give me. He was there when we were mixing them.
And that's what you said, that even, I mean, his brother was there, and I think you said, or somebody said Ja Life used to be there, that Junja wasn't even there for mixing most of the albums. So that's what's so frustrating with his position, too, is he wasn't even there when they're mixing the dubs. Because we're talking about the dubs.
Even if he was there, what Junja has to do with the creation of the dub? He's just a producer.
Yeah.
He's just a producer. He has nothing to do with the musical composition of the dub. But again, this is showing you how the true green sleeve. Now, I've been dealing with these folks since I've been 16. They owe me a lot of money. They go as far as to bring jammies into America to tell lie on me. Now see it backfiring on them. It's backfiring in front of everybody. And then the public know. The public knows that this is a fraud. It's consumer fraud. So under moral rights, when we show the court what they're doing under moral rights, they're going. I don't know what they're going to do after this, because it's showing that they're deliberately trying to get around the French ruling. Now France is a member of the Berne Convention.
Yeah,
and America is a member of the Berne Convention, right? And England is a part. Do it under UK moral rights.
No, but as fraud as well, it comes under common law. It's not even admiralty law. It's not corporate law. It's actually law of the land, and it's punishable by imprisonment.
Well, and the thing is, imagine if your favorite book, you went to read your favorite book, and one day you saw the same book and you're like, that's the same book, but they just took the author off and put a different image on it. It's frustrating. That's just not fair, and everybody knows that. Anybody who has any kind of sense, and you don't even need to know the law. You wouldn't even ever have to know the law. And if you said, hey, is this right? Anybody would say no, and it's not fair. And it's just what we're talking about every other Sunday,
It's worse than counterfeit, isn't it?
But I don't get.
Scientist, one question, please.
It is counterfeit. Yeah.
Scientist.
Go ahead, Fitzroy.
Yeah, scientist. Yeah, man. I was going to say this for the listeners them see. Can I want to ask you a question? Because I want to broaden the reason, make people aware that this is a very serious crisis. Because moral rights is you really even keeping me out know what moral rights and even know what it meant. And this is like the fundamental of everything that in the music. Because what I want to ask now, because if Greensleeve would approach you, because sometimes you know things reissue, you know. You know, you have reissued albums that come with different concept, but if them should have consulted you. They should have consulted you, you know, because you're the copyright owner. If they're not going to even do a reissue, but to like take your name off it with your image is like double jeopardy. You know?
Well, here's what they had approached me, right, and they're giving me a contract that they want me to sign that me and the producer must share 3 cents. What? You get what? 97 cents? What kind of a craziness is this? This contract is written that somebody can't read. Mm-hmm. And you shall give us copyrights. I have the contract. So if you didn't own copyright, why are you asking me for copyright? See? Mm-hmm. So because they know they can't approach me, and they know that Linval and Junja can't read and write and doesn't know anything about percentage, and they will go in the studio, spend the money, produce the record, and then they must get 3 cents on the record while the producer get what. So me and Junja would be getting what, 1 and something cents each. You see how unfair? So they don't want to approach me. Right, because the type of contracts that they're giving people to sign, these are for really dumb, stupid, illiterate people who doesn't have any. And I don't need an attorney to read a contract. Whatever attorney write a contract, the more the lengthier the contract is the more I know where to go through it with a fine tooth. And any word that's straight from my English language, I go look it up. And 9 out of 10 times is something that I know that I shouldn't do. When you start to them using words that you know that the general public doesn't know what that is. Anytime you write this your contract and you see a word that you don't know, use that as a red flag that is an indicator for them to con you out or something. This is why it named contract.
That's the absolute meaning of the word, you know. Absolute meaning. It's the complete opposite to agreement.
Oh my God, you just broke it down for us.
It's telling you. It's telling you. They're trying to con you. Really? All right. What this word mean, God? All right. And I go, okay. All right. So this word here meaning that I don't get anything. So they don't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with me because when they deal with me, I'm going to use the law against them and I'm going to use my knowledge of how the record thing work. No. Junja doesn't own copyright and Junja can't assign any rights. Over Junja can't read and write and we can prove say he can't read and write and whatever contract he signed with you is void and nullified. And don't you go there try to think you can get his family to sign anything. Right? Because his family can't sign, it's worse. They didn't have anything to do with the work, so they can't assign anybody's rights. So they like dealing with musicians and artists. Oh, just sign here. We give you £3,000 and we're going to be making 3 million and you never get an penny.
I tell you what,
scientist. Yeah, hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, scientist. What I'm saying now, all right, for instance, you know, we have to flip it. Sometimes we have to share the two-sided. For instance, Linval Thompson and John Jalas, you know, say they are literate then, them could read and write and them still wouldn't have that power of authority if it's sign over the copyright, you know, right?
No. And is what the idiots them that understand.
No, hold on. Yeah, because I want my listener to understand, say, your issue is because the broader side, I think, because an industrial problem. So as much as Linval Thompson and John Jalas involved in the project, this if them couldn't even read and write, so them intelligent and them go university. You understand? They have no authority to sign that copyright unless them consult.
To them aren't anybody.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
The public know that say it's not just for the literate, it go for also the intellect who know the rights of people and still go and breach it.
Yeah. So if the producer, look here, a producer with any artist that produce anything out there, and I know a lot of producers they don't want to hear this, but I'm telling the producers these things to also protect them from lawsuits. Producer cannot assign rights. Producers, especially if they only pay for the session, they cannot assign copyrights to anybody. These two people is saying that the producer assigned them copyrights. And I know they're listening, And please to listen clear, because if we go to court and was in discovery, we'd be having pretty much the same conversation. When you go to court, you go through a process named discovery, where both sides discover. And what that is, the lawyers them is supposed to apply candor and say, you know what, client, you're wrong. The producer can't assign copyright, and let's settle this and don't put this in front of the judge. This is what's supposed to happen in disclosure. But because these lawyers want to collect money and retain money, the retainer fee to pay for them new Mercedes-Benz, they don't apply a very important thing under the law named candor toward the tribunal, where the lawyer is supposed to advise his client that he's in the wrong. Don't care how hard it is. The lawyer have a duty that he's sworn under, that I have to abide by the court rule, and I'm an officer of the court, and he don't care how much money my client giving me. He's in the wrong, and I have to tell him that I'm in the wrong, that he's in the wrong. The lawyers don't do that. So I know that they're listening now, so please to listen. And whatever crooked lawyer is going to come and try to defend them, lawyer, when in court, I'm going to enforce candor toward the tribunal. So now, lawyer, I am telling you that your client is committing a fraud, and they committed a fraud under moral right. Do not come into court and don't apply any candor. You have to apply candor, lawyer, because we're showing you and we're telling you that your client committing a fraud. Now, the thing that the lawyers them do is to turn a blind eye and act like they don't know that the client is committing a fraud. So now, lawyer, that I'm telling you, and
okay, the signal.
I'm showing you where your client is committing a fraud. You're not even supposed to take the case. Lawyer, you are supposed to tell your client that you can't take the case. Right? So don't bring any crooked, lawyers do not come into court with this again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because we're showing you and telling you that you have a legal obligation named candor to the wards, the tribunal, and anybody can go and look it up. The lawyer cannot assist the clients in breaking the law. It says the lawyer shall not willingly know that his client is breaking the law. And once the lawyer come to find out that his client is breaking the law, he must move to a position to deter his client. If that doesn't work, the lawyer has to tell the judge. So lawyer, I'm setting you up now. So you have to tell the judge that the client breaking the law. And and every lawsuit going to be dismissed under candor. So please bring it on. They can't.
Can I butt in here though? The worst thing about this though is, I mean, on the other side of it, do not love these records. Some of these records are the most loved, and the artists who are getting ripped off from not just any company, many different companies, not just this company. And it's just unfair that, again, we have to bring up all these artists, and it's not just scientists. Who would we bring up before? Ja Life. He's a key to this whole green sleeve issue. And you ever talk to him like we did in one of the last shows, a couple of shows ago, it's not fair to anybody. Your work is getting ripped off and you're not seeing the money. It's not fair. And for anybody to say, well, they pressed them 5,000 rather than they only got pressed 500. So good on green sleeves. That's not fair. They ripped these people off, not just scientists, not just Jai Life, so many people. How many people we named and brought on the show? It's unfair.
Well, let's see. Based on the contract, let's see. They're giving Ginger 3 cents. You see? So they're even ripping off the producer.
Yep.
They're claiming that Ginger write dub. How can a producer write dub?
Yep. And that's one thing. That's one thing. I mean, even Jai Life said it. He's like, I can think it in my head, but scientist does it. Even Jai Life admits, he's like, I can't mix like scientists can do it. Jai Life he played with boards and he say this, but he's like, scientists and people who mix, it's one on. Like scientists said, if you were to cut the same dub plate right after you cut the first dub plate, like let's say you're gonna cut two of the same dub plate off the rhythm, it's gonna always be different. And so is it not fair that the remixers and people like that do what they do? They're doing the hard work sometimes, and especially like a guy like Jai Life who put so much money into the sessions and never really ever saw it back because they totally ripped him off.
It makes you not want to buy and support these record labels by buying their music anymore. It's like, who do you trust and who do you support?
That's the nail on the head. That's the exact nail on the head. And like when scientists put them out in Russia under a different label, that's perfect. Now you can get them and know it's going to who it should go. But everybody wants to talk about this and that. But it's not just scientists. It's so many people get ripped off.
A lot of people in the Facebook forum, but all scientists got paid for his work. They don't understand music law. That's why they're talking that verbal garbage.
Exactly. And that's what I tried to point out. You don't actually know the business, or you haven't looked into it enough. And even if you slightly look into the business, you see a case like this, it's right in, it's in the headlights. It's in the biggest show you could ever be on Broadway. It's right in the headlights. You're getting ripped off. Somebody's getting ripped off, obviously, with this situation.
Right. I do want to wrap this up. So does anybody want to add anything, to moral rights, what we're talking about now? Anybody have anything more to add?
Only to say that we come back to contracts again, and you must understand them and don't sign anything if you don't. Because it's so easy to sign away your rights. I mean, there's a perfect scenario of where a record label can own everything. So, for instance, they may employ a producer.
Yeah.
They may employ songwriters. All of these people on work for hire.
Right.
They instruct the the producer to go out and find the musicians on a work to hire basis to create the song.
Yeah.
So they will own everything. They will own
that
everything.
That is immoral.
No, if they pay people and people know up front that's what they're being employed, this is employment, then that record label can have every right to say, well, we put all the money up for all of this, we paid everyone was employed by us, everybody was on a work for hire agreement, so we own everything. That's the only situation where a record label can say they own everything.
And that's a perfect example right there. Like I said, even in a situation I had, they took everything off the name, but he claimed this and that, he's claiming this and that, but you have to go and tell the guy, hey, you know what's what, you have to look into law. When this guy finally looked into law now 2-3 years later, now he's claiming the right claims, and he kept on claiming off and this and claiming this and that. So you have to know what you know. When you know the business, you can put your foot down in any situation. Chris had said that he's had situations before with his label. When you know the law, you put your foot down, and it ends it right away. You just have to know what you're talking about, and you have to know the law.
Let me just interject very quickly. Triller, are you there? We're having some connection problems with Triller. So what I'm going to do is, while we continue to talk, I'm going to try and work out this technical issue. Anybody have anything more to add before we round it up? Okay, so can we go on to mechanical royalties for sound recordings?
Yeah, gladly. I mean, we've covered a lot of it in the conversation. And it's part of this, is the last part of it as well. But that's the second part. That's mechanical royalties, mechanical earnings. But there's also mechanical rights, which is the copyrights around a sound recording. And we're coming back again to work for hire agreements. and everything else. You know, if there is no work for hire agreement in place for any of the musicians, any of the production team, and any of the singers, then they own the copyright to that musical composition, the sound recording. And that's where mechanical rights are.
And
Mechanical
that's
rights
like,
are around the sound recording.
yep. And I think it's 10 cents, correct? Is usually the norm. Is usually the norm.
No, that's the intellectual copyright that goes with anything that's created. That percentage goes to the songwriters. But the people that create the sound recording have got their own rights. So it's the other 90%, if you like.
Right.
So, for instance, the best example that's always given is Whitney Houston's "I'll Always Love You," because every time that song was played, every time it was sold, every time it showed in the film, it was Dolly Parton that got the 9 cents copyright for it because she wrote the song. Now, what arrangements were made with the others? Maybe Whitney Houston was paid a fixed amount of money for singing the song. Or maybe she got a percentage of...
Well, should get our money from sales. From the sales. But
that's right. From the sales and licensing, she would have got a percentage or a fixed sum, depending if she was on a work for hire agreement.
Well, I don't think her lawyers would make her sign a work for hire agreement. Work for hire agreement is for dummies. Trust me. They don't approach Whitney Houston or any of those people with good representative with work for hire contracts. They only approach people who is hungry and want to be in the music business with work for hire contracts. Because no manager is going to advise their client to sign a contract saying work for hire.
I agree.
Yeah. But there are some cases though where if somebody just say, "Hey, scientist, mix this song here for me," I mix an A side for the song, whatever they agree to pay me, I'm satisfied to just walk away with the song, and give the person their song. All right, scientists overdub this keyboard or this painting. I'm not trying to go get royalties for that.
No, that's right as well, isn't it, scientists? That's the right way of doing it because...
Yeah.
But it has to be very clear that that's the arrangement that you've got with those people. Because this is where we keep coming across the problems with people that we interview, is where they don't seem to have signed a bit of paper and they've received nothing from the mechanical royalties, the receipts from any kind of selling.
Well, when they don't sign a paper, it's even better for them because the law requires paper.
That's right. That's why they're entitled to it if they have signed that.
I've been signing the paper. It's automatic if you don't sign in the paper that you're entitled to it. The only time you're not entitled to it is when you sign the paper.
Exactly. So there's two bits of paper people who are songwriters and also performers need to be careful about. There's the intellectual side and the mechanical side as well.
The thing that could prevent all of this before you all go to the studio, just use the split sheet that Chris posted. Just put that down and send it in. That take care of it. It's not a long lengthy contract. Anybody can understand it. Just do a split sheet right as you get in the session before the session finish.
Yeah, what I'll do is anyone that wants that, if they email Coffee and Cream, we'll put the link to email. I'll just send them on a master copy that we've got that they can adapt for themselves.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have anything more to add before we move on?
Yeah, I'd like to add something. I've just seen something on the PRS website, and it's a really nice sort of in a nutshell explanation for anyone who didn't catch it first time regarding mechanical rights. It says that the Mechanical Copyright Protection Society, MCPS, represents members' mechanical rights whenever a piece of music is reproduced as a physical product. Mechanical rights royalties are different to performing rights as they are paid to the songwriter, composer, or publisher when music is reproduced as a physical product or for broadcast or online, which goes in line with what Chris was just saying about Whitney Houston and Dolly Parton.
Very interesting. I wanted Thriller to hear the discussions because me and Thriller have been going back and forth with some of the issues he's going through. So I wanted him to hear this. Thriller, are you there? Thriller.
He's not linked into the panel at the moment, General. He keeps coming in and out.
Yeah.
So did you want to call him?
Yeah, well, let's try again and see what happens. Let's see if we can do it a different way. Yes, and our guest today is the original Thriller, who is residing in Canada. Thriller. Oh no. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to remove him from the group and add him via his phone. So just bear with me while I try to organize this. Now you can see why I get so many headaches. Right, let's see if we can add his mobile phone and add him to the group and take it from there. Let's see how we do here now. Let's see if we can get him by phone.
It's ringing.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Triller. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Skype, man, but why?
Yeah, me nah hear nothing from Skype, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm still writing, but me nah hear nothing.
Lucifer can't stop you right now, man. You're welcome to the Reggae Biz talk show, and we have the panel here. We have Chris Hills, we have the scientists, we have Dubby, Fitzroy Francis, we have Evelyn, and we have Sharon. So you're welcome, my brother.
You know, I'm listening everything you guys saying.
Oh, wow.
Everything. And I scientists, scientists I come from a long place. Scientists remember Triller, original Triller, this can't cross the border, not to the mixing me, bang and all the way and Ruddy, yeah?
Come on, man. Well, the people like you know the history and know and see everything, and you see now what's happening 30 years later.
All right, scientists, guys. I listen to everything, man. I just couldn't get through on the sky, but I don't miss nothing what all you guys say.
Amen. Thank you. Well, just introduce yourself to our listeners and just tell us specifically, without mentioning any names, what it is you're going through.
Well, enough respect for having me, General, see, and hear up each of the brethren and sister in them and the panel, see, and I love this show, really love this show, you know, what they are saying, very interested, you know, all you guys, enough respect.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I listen to scientists and everything we hear scientists say, I saw it go. Trust me, yeah. Because, all right, you see, all of them, enough of them producers, they, you know, and you can't take away their rights from them. Like, all right, when you say John Lingval, scientist is right, 100% right. Those guys just come, maybe they come with just there. They have their money then, you say, all right. Book some studio time on a Channel 1 and carry them artists that were left down there with scientists and left them with Sochi. And pay for the studio time and pay them artists and tell scientists to run the session for me and advise them money and record them for me. And make sure everything good by time me go. Enjoy myself a road, go look to woman, eat some food, go a beach, go do anything. And when me done enjoy myself and do everything now, me come back to scientists and scientists, everything finished? Everything done? And they say, yeah man, done everything already, I mix everything and do everything for a long time. Man. So John don't have an idea what's going on in our studio or in Valtamsis. His scientist is the man and Soji is the man who there and make sure say, all right, the singer has sound right. The artist, the musician play the right thing and do all these things for those guys Junjo to come and get these work. They don't know nothing about arrangement, about singing, about produce, nothing other than you have a money and like what's going on. And you pay the studio time and get music, but you don't know how these music make.
Well, share with us what it is, because you mentioned to me about a particular person whom was robbing your music. Tell us about it.
Okay, well, all right. Well, it's not just one person, you know.
All right, tell
There's
us
a lot
about
of
it.
them, but this guy particular, yeah, I know I don't really want to call my name or
All
whatever.
right,
I don't
yeah.
keep it clean there, but this guy is particular. He live in Florida.
Mm.
I just put out my music when me produce. I make my music, then where Sly and Ruddy play for me. I'm in the studio, do everything. I produce my song, I sing my song with all different type of guys I use sing and do my stuff, and I put them out there on the road. And yeah, but the producer just take my stuff and just put them out, just put them up online, put them on a All-Star album, and say produced by them. They don't know me, me and them never do any business together.
So what you're saying, you produce a particular, let's say, a couple of singles, and then you're saying this person would take that single and put his name on it and put it out as him as being the producer?
Of course. Yeah.
Wow.
I have a lot of song online like that right now where people just take my song, put up. I have to go into all kind of problem with them. Now, and tune might have song right now online same way who people just put up and they decide to not take them down.
Wow.
No. But here's what you have to do. You have to write, if them put it on iTunes or Facebook, you have to contact Facebook and them have what you call a DMA, DMA takedown notice. Can anybody in the panel Google DMA takedown notice?
No, me do all that on iTunes, you know, scientists.
And did they take them down?
And then take them down and the person put them back up. They said you have something, you have some laws in a sense where people request back. You see what you have to take down? You have people that request back to put it back up. So you have to go in court with that.
No.
You have to go in court itself with that.
No. This is why you need the DMA takedown notice.
Yeah, I tell you about I got through all that, scientists. Just listen to me, man. Just listen to me. DMA takedown, everything what you're saying. I got through all that. And they still put it up back. I'm telling you, man, I go through all and they take down the song and they find some way to write back iTunes and request you have laws by put back up your things in a man. And you have to go through the living court now. iTunes not gonna deal with it no more because the two of you keep battling with the two of them say take down this one, say put it back up this. So iTunes get fed up and say, okay, go to the court and deal with that.
Yeah, but iTunes have to take it down to length time it's settled or else them open up themselves. This is why I'm telling you need to write them the takedown notice like how I'm telling you. Because if they don't take it down, there becomes a party of the lawsuit and it's their opportunity to not be involved in the lawsuit. Because if you are the artist and these people has no contract with you and you write in iTunes saying I'm the artist, these people have no contract with me, take it down. What iTunes is supposed to say is send me the contract with the artist. If they can't send in a contract with the artist, iTunes is supposed to take it down. If iTunes don't take it down, then they make themselves a party to the lawsuit. No, the problem is with the law in America and the conflict of interest with money and the law, like it's written for corporations, you have to now have thousands of dollars to go file a lawsuit.
Yes. Right, because that's what me write iTunes, everything for take on it. Take down the song, and by the next couple 2 weeks, you guys put it back up.
You're exactly supposed to write back iTunes. Huh?
That's how they do it, though. He has a good point, though, because I went through the same thing. You make a request, then that person has the ability to go back. And when they go back, a lot of times you don't even get to know. Like, it happens a lot of time, even with song calling this. If you try to take something down that you're saying is yours, then they give the person the chance and they come back. It's just a big back and forth. And like you said, then they'll just say both of you don't even have to deal with it.
Right. And
then when you block, they go put it up with somebody else. It happened.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, the problem with them keeping it up there if when you go to the court and you say, Judge, this person has no contract with me, I'm pleased to ask him to show the contract with me, and the court rule against the person, then the court is also ruling against iTunes. This is why
Yes, and that's what I show you. So
why
that's what I'm showing the scientists. That's what I'm.
a part of the a lawsuit. I don't.
Yes, that's what I'm supposed to do right now. That's what I'm going through right now. I'm telling you, I'm going to sue iTunes. Is that I'm going to right now? I get the link for it to sue them now, because I told them already, and they take it down, and then they make guys put it back up, and I supposed to write them again. No, I'm going to sue them now.
Isn't there any other way around it other than going to court, scientists?
Well, the iTunes need to say to the person, where's the contract? Is the same situation like me and Grand Theft Auto? Where's the contract?
Right.
Okay, Green Steve can't come up with a contract. Well, okay, we're going to pay off scientists. And we're going to sue you know, Green Sleeve.
So it looks
like
I go through it, scientists. Trust me, man. I go through all what you go through, the same thing I go through, man. And me and iTunes is at war right now.
Because
me and YouTube was at war, Me and YouTube was at war, and then they do what I say and give me my rights and everything. Okay, so that's what I have to do with iTunes now.
But here's what we're finding out: the conflict of interest. You see, iTunes want money. And iTunes is calculating, well, then you are an independent artist and you're not going to have the legal fees to go fight them.
Right.
If you ever win in court, they open up themselves to a lawsuit where they willfully violated you.
Yeah, that's true. Because they take it down and then they make the guy put it back up.
They're going to set a case law that, well, okay, this artist win against iTunes this way because they fail to take down. And then now every other artist now can go sue iTunes on the same ground. I don't know why they would stupidly remake the thing skip there, because what iTunes is supposed to say, where's the contract with you and this person? Well, there's no contract. Okay, I'm taking it down. So here's what you should do then. You should release it in iTunes.
Yeah. Well,
you take a copy. Huh?
So what you say, scientist?
You take a copy and put it in iTunes. And if iTunes take down yours and don't take down theirs, then it make it bad for them because it's showing that they're impartial. You are the artist. You are the artist. You have the final word, not the producer.
Right. That's true. And once I own the song, I own them. And then you're going to take it down the person who don't own my song, put it back up? I don't understand that.
Well, hey, this is what I do with them. I take everything, as you say, you was there in Jamaica. You know that Junja and them people there, you know Junja them lifestyle. Them is not really a producer. Half of the time them come, them don't even pay for the studio time. Them still owe studio time.
Right,
because them involved in certain things and them trying to clean up them life and them past, we help them and we give them studio time and people like you come and advise the thing. But them was never there in the production of it.
Yeah, because I know that, scientist. All those songs that you mix, you is the producer too. I was there, Them wasn't there when you were mixing them.
Them wasn't there, them wasn't taking
the risk. I produced them. Them come on and just stay here. Vice this artist for me. Vice this man.
And them up with some girl using artist money, buying girl gold chain.
Yes, that's true. He's right, man. This is right.
I'm paying girl rent and taking care of kids where girl claims says theirs when it's not theirs with artist money.
And buy some big car and some big things for the artist money. And the artist have nothing.
And not giving the artists them part of the advance. This is what was going on with both of them, if people want to know. I was doing the work.
You know, the greatest shame of it all is we're hearing that even though you do protect yourself, you can still go through murder just trying to, gain control of your own property.
Because of the conflict of interest with money and the law. because of the lawyers them that's doing this. If the lawyers them would just adhere to candor towards the tribunal, then you wouldn't have this. Because when it go in front of the both lawyers in discovery, one lawyer is supposed to say to the other lawyer, I tuned you in the wrong. This is what's supposed to happen in discovery. The lawyer has to tell, this is the oath that the lawyer took, that if, when your client is in the wrong, you have to defend the court. And if you try to pursue your client, that the client you're in the wrong, and the client still asking you to bring the case, you have to drop the case. And while you're in court, if your client's still pushing fraud, and you tell your client not to push the fraud, and your client still wants you to push the fraud, you're supposed to tell the judge. This is the oath that the lawyer took. Right? And this is what they don't want to tell people. Because the way how the oath is written, that you should not willingly know. And when you come to find out that your client is committing a fraud on the court, you're supposed to tell your client you can't commit a fraud. And if that don't work, you're supposed to take a sidebar and tell the judge that your client committing a fraud. This is what the oath that the lawyer took. But because it's written up that you should not willingly know, then the lawyers them pretending like them don't know that them client committing a fraud. So when I tell the liar that I show the liar how him client is committing the fraud, and I remind the liar that him take this oath here, the liar is supposed to drop the case or tell the judge.
You're right, scientist, man, you're right. Because, all right, General. You know, I do songs for Joe Gibbs, like maybe 79, 80. And my song, this song with Banter Levy singing, my wife, I'm a sweetheart afraid. That's my song, you know.
That's your song, yes.
Oh, yes.
Me write and everything in the song that Joe Gibbs.
It's true.
And you know, so when me left, Joe Gibbs get Barrington Levy go sing that song, and then put them name on it and publish. Put my name on it at first when I youth, and then after they take my name off of it.
Well, that come under
take my name off and put on their name.
Well, that come under moral rights. Do you have that copy that come up before theirs?
Yeah, me have the copy there, Jamaica, yeah.
Well,
I make sure put it down. I make sure put down that copy because this is...
Well, here's what you need to do with them. Take a copy of that, put it out. When them try to sue you, you claim moral rights.
But scientists, you talk my story, man. You know, so I release back that song. You know, so we know the business. You know, I release back that song for you and produced by me.
And what them said? Them try to do anything?
Me not see they come at me as yet. Nobody come at me as yet. Because I put it out, produce and name it and change the name to them a friend.
Yeah. Do anybody?
That's what I put it out back as, you know. Them a friend. The same Barrington Levy song, everything I put it out back and I don't see nobody come at me as yet.
What you need to do, you need to register the song as you as a writer. So if there's any money, it's going to go into dispute. And then when it go into dispute, you're going to show your copy that you use the first person that company before Barrington Levy.
Right. Because me register it with some people in England and I don't hear about nothing from them as yet. So I don't know.
Well, here's what we're discovering. Them have somebody in the inside at PRS at MPS working with them.
Yeah, I just didn't understand you that. You know what's going on, my brother, because I joined publishing with some people in England and when you take a stop, some other people who me have the song them know is my song. Them and those people make up to take away my publishing and take away things and make me think I don't know what's going on and I'm over here wondering what's going on when they joined up. You're right, you know what's going on. It's a race, man. It's a war in this business, man. So it's hard. It's very hard. It's war.
Yeah, well, look here, man. So much of us couldn't tell and lie. Right? Yeah, and my case is evidence. I'm still here. Everybody know these records. You come there, come talk the truth and verify everything. John Linval was never, ever there. And even
never. Linval thief me tune. Remember Linval thief me tune, you look how me sexy. I'm my tune, you know. I'm me the writer as you. Right. You know? People never say Striller was the man. And me the man that sing, them can't cross the border. With Sugar Minot sing, Junior Reid sing, Tony Top sing. Remember my song, all of those guys, look at John, all of those guys live off, you know. Tickle Me, remember Tickle Me and me first did that Fitzroy Ruddy #1. Then we could do it out. Enough people don't know the history of original Thriller, eh? Enough of those songs is my songs.
Yeah.
But
look here, man. This Reggae Biz is here. This Reggae Biz is here. It's like it wriggled with all kind of the worst kind of a people. The worst kind of a people, and it's pure crook and pure thief. And pure thief.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Scientist, let me ask you a question. Being that Triller is the original writer of some of these big songs that many of the artists have been taking and making money from, right? Is it still too late for him to claim what is due unto him?
No, I'm going to go into dispute, and it's because nobody in Jamaica never set up the way it's set up, where these artists know to register them song appropriately. Where you live, Triller? You live in Canada?
Yeah, but they are Jamaica back and forth.
But anywhere you live is where you have to register. I think you have what? What them have there in Canada?
Yeah, I'm SoCan here, but me join TRS. Remember me join TRS?
Yeah, but you live in Canada, so you should probably join SoCan.
SoCan, so what I try is join them over here, and I said, no, me already joined PRS, then it's just a branch to PRS, that's what them say.
Well, yes, but you need to register the songs with one of them, and then it would go into dispute. When it go into dispute, what you need to do, you need to show something that you've written a song before. Like, again, one of the records them that you have, this record here came out here, and then this record here came out 20 years later. What's been happening?
Remember tell you, scientist, the friend thing. Remember tell you about the friend where they dry in England, man, go to people and say, no, man, let me share this. That I go on with my things, you know.
Well, you can't cut off all of that. You can go register your song them independently, which is sometimes a painstaking thing, but it's what you have to do.
Let me ask you. Sorry to cut you. Do you have Thriller? And this is just me being real with you. Do you have any proof that would prove you being the original before these guys came along and took your music?
They know too much. All right. If you interview,
proof.
I'm talking about physical proof.
I heard that song with. Can tell me?
Triller, listen. When you say proof, do you have anything in writing? Because people can always change their mouth when they get paid.
That's true. Yeah, man. Me have the song when me write. Me have the original copies of what me do from way back when.
Okay.
Remember me do it to Channel 1. Remember me do it to Channel 1 too.
Yeah, but the record itself.
Huh?
Yeah. I'm asking you, do you have a copy of the records?
Yeah, man. Me have the record. Yeah, me have it.
And then these records came out after you.
You mean with the Tony Tough one and them and the one?
Yeah, those other records came out after yours, right?
Yeah, after mine, but we don't have a copy of them but we can't get them online.
Well, you don't need to have a copy.
You just need yours.
Yeah, you just need yours.
That's mine. I mean, register mine already, you know. Remember, I register mine from a long time. Mine register, you know.
Well, here's what's going on, and I'm going to bust this one right out in the open. 9 out of 10 times the record company is claiming writer's share. Right? Like they've been claiming Junja write dubs. Junja can't write dub. Junja can't even write him damn name, how him gonna write dub.
Yeah.
Right? And they've been collecting that money too. Can Junja read and write?
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true, that's true. Junja was a bad man, you know. But Junja was a bad boy, you know, with our sight, you know.
Yeah, answer this question. Can Junja read and write? Yes or no?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so a man can't read and write, can't sign away people's rights. Can't sign any contract. So whatever contract them have with Junja, hey, lawyer, don't come in the court and try to defend this.
I want to tell you right now, scientist, 1 minute. You have some people where they are England, some people they are England were claiming Junja things and say Junja left this with him, you know. And Junja coming one man right now, 2, 3 man right now, me know about 3 man right now in England. I say, Junja did left this with me, not Triller.
I know one of the man them, but
Junja did left this with me, but they not call the name. The man I said to me, Triller, Junja left them pack them Barrington leave here with me. Junja left this with me, you know.
Barrington Levy wants to go with that. That don't work in court. Producer
Yeah.
can't leave anything with anybody.
Yeah. I got
Period.
enough man say right now, say, I don't get left this with him.
Hold on.
John Joy owe me a money in a trailer. I give John Joy the 8,000 pounds, yeah.
Triller,
And
hold
him
on.
give me this 15,
Triller,
give me
hold on.
8,000 pounds, yeah.
Hold on. I want to come to scientists. Being that he has all the proof, yeah, that will show him as being the original writer, what can he feasibly do at this point?
Register them and put in a counterclaim.
Mm.
Register them to again.
Yeah, register them, bring their attention to the PRS that is a fraud. Any money that he's supposed to collect, they're going to go into dispute. And they have to show something that came out before his record. It's obvious that if his record came out first, that he's a writer.
Right.
It's more likely.
Right.
Why is it consistently that these records always come out after his record come out? It more make him look like he's the writer and everybody is following him because it's not like a Tony Tuff came out before him. From what I've been talking about, all these other records came out after he made his record.
Yeah, and these people know. These singers know too, you know, man.
Well,
like
here's what.
They don't know.
Here's what part of the problem in the reggae business is with it. The singers them and players have music and instrument, them have no loyalty to each other. Because look here.
That's true.
Bring jammers into court to tell lie on me. And as you know, was Jammers in charge of anything wrong at Tubby's?
Yeah, man. Remember that Tubby's Pete Jammers.
Yeah, but Jammers came into court and
Jammers not one not a Tubby's. Jammers one run away him there.
Yeah, but Jammers came to court and lied to them and said Jammers came to court and lied for them and said he's the board of the 3 directors and Tubby's and he was running the studio and he was teaching me and the amount of lie will come out of that liar named Jammers.
Has that been said?
Yes, he was running the studio and he's on the board of 3 directors. He was opening up the studio for me and I did not have any authority over the studio. Everything had was to go through him.
Such a big lie, man.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you
Never
what.
know him do that.
I tell you what. This shows.
Know him do that, man.
It's been a
That's
big
what the princess
revelation. I
did.
tell you, it's been a big revelation today, and it's sad that Thriller's music is being rubbed under his nose. And as far as I'm concerned, Thriller, I think you need to continue to gain control of what is due unto you.
All those songs, culture. I take all those songs for myself. Every producer who I do songs, I take them back in.
And put them
I
back
have
out.
all those songs right now for myself.
Right.
And nobody cannot come and talk to me or tell me nothing about. Even Ranking Joe trying to vex with me for my own song, and I never get $1 from Ranking Joe before. I do Chew Me Young, Can't Cross Me Border, and Mask Up for Ranking Joe when I was young. Just do it for him as a friend. And Ranking Joe wanna fight against me for my own song because I asked for a copy.
I mean,
you hear that? I asked for a copy of my song that I never get before. And somebody gonna mad and take for
look
that.
here. Well, here were Ranking Joe though. Them is the one and thing that Screw sell that album, the Greensleeve Dangerous Dub, talking about Tubby's mixed Dangerous Dub. And now, based on what's going on, anything that you see with Tubby's name, it have a serious question mark if it's Tubby's really mixed it. Tubby's only really had 3 dub albums. Could you remind them again, Doozer, what the 3 dub albums are?
Oh, Roots of Dub, Dub from the Roots, Brass Rockers, and then the Shalom Dub album, and that's from Bunny Lee, and that's not from any. That's from Bunny. Bunny even went on video and said that. He said no, it's only 4 albums, and everything else on the street is a pure fraud. And he said that in his book. So anybody who trying to say anything different to us can go read that in the book and see that on video. That Bunny said that 2 different times. Like he said, this is all Tubby's ever had. And I mean, you know just by the mixing styles that a lot of stuff that they put on as Tubbies is not mixing. Sometimes it's scientists, sometimes it's really bad stuff, but most of the time it's scientists.
Well, you know what? I was expecting them to say King Tubbies wins the World Cup. Why did he not say that? Because that's obvious.
I
Well,
told. That's what I'm saying. See, and that's an unfair thing because I even told a kid. I joked with the kid one time. I gave him a little poke. I said, "Oh, I should name one of my albums as a fake album because it sells. If you put King Tubby's name on anything, it sells, and that's not fair. That's not fair that you just slap somebody's name on something and it sells. That's not fair, being it's not theirs. If it's theirs, okay, then they have to get what's due or their family,
Yeah.
their estate. But
Yeah,
if it's not theirs, it's
the
unfair.
problem is the problem is
scientist,
this.
1 minute.
Mm,
You can I do a song for a producer over from 84 and never get a copy? And I
if you what?
1984 I do a song for Ranking Joe. 3 songs.
Yeah.
Never get a copy. And you ride stereograph sound them ask and say, Tuna, that song name Show Me Young we have, how me can get it? I say Ranking Joe, me do it for you now. You know, let me try it. I'm trying to man to get. I know some man want to give me a copy of the song.
No, you're entitled. Is it released?
Don't want
anyway?
to give me a copy of the song because I'm not going to check so watch out. Should have we got put out back the song or should the man make a lot of money off it selling it? You know when you sell it that way,
Yeah,
they're
but
selling it now. They're making a lot of money now. Yeah, because they don't want it to regular out there now because they're not going to make enough money. So they don't want me to get my own song.
Okay, but is it online anywhere?
Let me get it, man. I get it, you know.
Yes, I get
I
it. I'll
end
put
up
it back
find
out.
a guy. I end up find a guy who have it on a record and run it off and sell it come give me.
Yeah. Put it back out, and when Ranking Joe start to try to sue you, you tell him
Yeah.
what the law is. Producer don't own anything, and you is the person.
After 7 years.
Well, not
In the
after
reggae
7 years.
right now.
No. You need to go on Jamaica government website. You need to just Google Jamaica copyright law.
Yeah.
The producer need your permission to put it out, not the other way around.
Okay. Yeah. Never get a copy scientist. I mean, ask the man to I don't want vexing for my own song. I can't believe this, brethren.
Well,
The 3
well,
songs.
this is-
The man want vexing for my own song that I did for him free and make him make
Is
millions
part
off
of the
it. That
problem.
I make
This is
nothing.
part of
And
the
this guy
problem.
don't want to give me my song. Own artist like me.
This
Don't
is
want
part
to
of
give
the
me my
problem.
song. That's not me. And I don't even really can't believe it up till now. I can't believe it, man. Ranking Joe don't need that. I have
This
to call
is
his
part of the
name.
problem. This is part of the problem in the dirty reggae business with all of these people talking one love my ass. There's no one love with any of them. It's all
No,
hate
no,
and
I see that, man. I can't believe. I give this guy 3 songs free as a youth. Big it song, Mr. Walker. Good morning, Mr. Walker. And the next one, Chew Me Young. Big song, and I can't get a copy of my own voice. Come on,
That's
man. I
not
can't
right.
believe I have to
That's
fight
not
and
right.
war till me get a copy of my own voice. I can't believe that, man. I'm not looking for that from Ranking Joe. I'm looking for that from some stranger. Not the producer I do the song for. I can't believe it.
You know,
Well,
before,
No, I can't believe.
I want to ask a question that I feel could help this situation. I'm thinking in my mind, you know, like for instance, a producer asks, let's say, original Thriller now to go in the studio and voice for him. Yeah, what transaction should take place? What should be taking place?
Split sheet, the first thing. Does Triller write this song? More than likely, yes.
Okay.
Right?
No, the first thing is the license.
Yeah, which is a split sheet or a
No,
contract.
the split sheet forms after the license is granted.
Our licensors. Okay, so he's going to give the producer a license.
To create
He's
a
not
sound recording. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not assigning any copyrights to
No,
the
not at all.
to the producer. He's giving him a limited license, no license forever. He giving him a limited license. I would recommend a year or two. Say if this producer behaves right and show good faith, then after the license expire, you renew it. Artists do not sign anything within in a contract that renewing automatic, because these comeback lawyers doing that, they know when a contract is up in 10 years, you're not going to remember to tell them you want, so it's going to automatically renew itself. What I do with them, and what I did recently, a record company sent me a contract, and it had an automatic renewing. I never argued them. I just signed a contract, and immediately I send them a registered mail saying this contract will not be renewing automatically after this date.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah,
All right, scientist. I like what you just said a while ago. Don't cut you. I like what you just said. A guy, the same guy we called Charles, just asked me about to put me song online. And me said put me song online. You know what he did? Send me a contract, right? Said he want some of my songs to put out. So I said, all right, give me X amount of dollars. So you know what the guy do? Send me a little monkey change to the Western Union. And then I said to him, hey, hear me. Nothing can work till when we get the rest of the money, you know. All money has to work.
But wait.
Before you send anything to the Western Union, come give me. So it stay there, so the money stay there.
But here's what the trick is with that situation. You have a thing in law that could go against the name implied license.
Right.
Right, where you accept the money. And then you go back and change the term contract. So if you're accepting the money, it's kind of like accepting the terms of the license.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful of that, because he could use an implied license. Well, I sent him the contract. Here is it in the email.
No, but he got back his money, you know. We don't have any money. He got his money back.
So did you sign anything? Did you sign anything?
No, because why now? We didn't get all the money. So we say, all right, take back your money, man.
Why is he sending you money and you didn't sign anything?
You don't know how certain people do them thing, man. When you don't sign nothing, them send them money because me have the songs. He have the songs them listening. He have the songs them listening.
Because he wants to use under law implied license. I told him what was up. He accepted the money.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
well, we
right.
know where to take the money. He got his money. We don't even take the money. He go back for his money. We don't take it. We tell him, no, you have to send all of the full money.
Yeah, but you see,
you
keep saying the full money. The full money could be in here. Here's £10,000, and he have a clause in it that anything you sing from now on or before that, he owns it. So before the money, what is the contract saying?
Exactly.
The contract is saying he wants, like, all right, he want a couple tunes from me. What he like, what my production that we put out. I mean, me and like couple songs. So me say, all right, I know nothing if you want to give X amount of what's supposed to go on the contract, and say that no want. You have to send that. So he send that money to the Western. Say, hey, send that money after the money, you know.
Yeah, but what
don't tell him to send any money.
Thriller, there must have been more in that contract. There must have been more in it, and I would love for you to send it to me so that we can go over it. Yeah, because there must have been more.
Something not right.
Whereby he could have sent you the money, and then all of a sudden he's owning everything you got right there, you know. So he
want to send the rest after. You know, want to send, but he said no. But one time.
Triller. Before even sending a penny or send the whole thing, whether it's a penny or $10 million, he's not supposed to be sending the money without you have a signed contract. Did you sign anything?
No, we not signed nothing yet.
So why is he sending money?
No, I said, yard man did anything, man. I said, but we said nothing, go get Triller now and make Triller go and hold on. And then I said, no, we not do things now.
Well,
without you signing.
When I sign nothing or no paperwork, nothing. No, I just send the man where the man love me tune them.
Are you accepting the money?
No, we not take it. We not take it. We not take the money. Money still there. The Western Union.
Suppose he send you. Suppose he send you the full amount. Will you accept it?
Yeah.
Well, you accept
with the right amount. The money,
no. You're putting yourself in problems, Triller. Because
I just now when that contract me at that me and him are doing. You send me what me need.
Triller,
Yeah, yeah,
Triller, Triller,
but
if
Triller.
you send
Hold
me
on.
that, it's okay.
Oh, Triller, stop,
Triller,
stop,
listen
stop,
to the
stop.
trick.
Let me just say something to you, yeah? Come here and you
Yeah.
talk regular, yeah? And we know people have been messing you about. And one of the things that we've gathered is that you need to start handling your business as a business. Yeah, and that's not what you're doing right now. You're looking at the money aspect. You need to look past the money and look at the business to stop these scandalers from ripping you off.
No, well, you see, you went up now.
Listen to us.
And you're not hearing
Listen
it
us
right
there a little
now.
bit,
You're
Triller.
not
Listen
hearing
a
it.
little bit. Listen,
Yeah.
please listen to Triller. You're saying that if he send the full amount, you'd accept it, right?
Well, if you send him full amount, we just pick up a contract and you know, and him then and accept his
No,
money.
no,
Yes,
but, full,
a contract,
but
I say, yeah.
I'm showing you a loophole here that could mess you up.
Right. Yeah, me understand what you're saying. I tell you when me do it for real. Say, if you send me the money
Don't
and I
accept any
get a contract and everything.
Don't
you know?
accept any money from anybody unless they sign the contract first.
Right. No, that's what I say, hear me. That's what I say, a scientist. Listen to me. You see them send me the money, we don't have a contract there. You understand? We just make you know what I want. If you need them the money.
Let me ask you, Triller, let me ask it this way. Let me ask it this way.
Wrong.
Let me ask it this way, Triller. He sent the full amount of money. He sent a contract, and the contract says that that you assign the rights to him in perpetual. Would you be okay with it?
If he said what?
He sent you all the money you require. He sent you a contract. The contract says he owns you give him rights in perpetual. Would you sign the contract?
No, we have to carry that to make a lawyer look over it, and I wouldn't just go to your contract. You have to understand what the contract's saying. If you just sign so. You just can't give my lawyer look over it first.
Fine, because if you had signed that contract, you'd be screwed.
Right, you understand? Yeah.
With
So
that
most
word
of this
that
stuff,
say in
the second thing, can't come give a look a lawyer and they know and say, hey, how this look? Before we just run go sign like that.
Yeah, that's what you should do. But the horse is a bit in front of the cart because before any money mentioned, you should be, or anything, send any money. Don't send a month length and your lawyer look at the contract. After your lawyer look at the contract, then you will sign it and send the money. He send the money and then he sign it. Both of you have to sign it. He have to sign it also.
Right. Yeah, of course. You have to sign.
Right, Iris is not a contract.
Right.
And then
it cannot be a contract if both of we don't sign.
Yeah, but to contemplate a contract, 1 penny is necessary.
Yes.
So once he send you money, that means you accept and seal a contract.
Yeah, but you still have to sign. If he send money to him, or he send money to me, we both have to sign. So it's just where I say it have to be. So it cannot work without both of us. What you say a while ago.
Yeah, both of you have to sign it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't work no way because I'm here every day. So if he sign and me not sign, and if he got money and he got money, it cannot work.
Well, no, not in certain states, you know. If you sign and he send the money and he accept it, and you accept it, right?
Well, that's different. Both of us accept. Yeah, that's different.
No. Listen up. If you sign it, right? He send the money and you accept the money.
Yeah.
That means you accept the terms as an implied license. He don't necessarily mean to sign it because he signed it by sending the money. That means he agreed why he sent the money.
Right. But if you don't have the money, you have his money. It doesn't make sense. You don't take the money.
Why the law requires
money.
That's why the law requires 1 penny to contemplate the contract.
Right.
So by him,
so just assure you what happened with that kind of people. What kind of people going around now? Just try to show you the type of people going around now to rip you off.
Yeah.
Like your songs, want your songs. Say they will send you this, send you that, and then they don't send you and the contract get messed up, no contract, nothing, and they steal your music.
Well,
They still
you
stole
hear
your
what it
music.
name?
They don't have a
Name
contract, you don't have a
contract.
contract, and they still stole your music.
Well, you hear what it name? It name contract. It
Yeah, you
cunning
understand?
something cunning about it.
Somebody just like what you have and just say, all right, so let's try to trick this guy and take away what some of those
Well,
music he have.
let's try con it with a track.
Yeah. But to me, they
Let's
put
rock.
in themselves
Let's
in
rock
more
it
trouble.
legally.
But to me, they put themselves in more trouble. Because the longer they do that and have their things up there, have my things up there, is the more problem they have. So to me, they put in themselves in more trouble.
Can I just come in? Can I come in for a minute?
Hold on. Let's hear from Chris. Chris, go ahead.
This is very confusing conversation, but can I just make? I'm just going to refer back to licenses. You need a license before you can create a sound recording. You need a license before anybody can do a cover version of your song. If, however, you find copies of your song done by someone else or whatever out there, you can go to PRS and you can register those produced works.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go in and you say that so and so recorded this song, and this is the catalogue number, and this is the ISRC, and that will guarantee that you'll get your royalties. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So if
what if that person register it? What if that person registered that song too that you carry into PRS to register?
Then the dispute comes in automatically. They'll automatically suspend any payments on either side until it's resolved.
Right, that's true. Yeah, because I know songs like that. More than one person registered the same song.
Yeah, that's what happens. Immediately it goes into dispute, then it needs to be untangled legally before anybody gets anything.
But guess what? Guess what, Chris? The PRS and them, they love that. Why? Because the money is going to be collected in their bank account. It sit and grow interest.
Yes.
Let them two go fight over it. We're going to just continue to make the interest off it. We hope the lawsuit never ends because the money is going to be in our bank account anyway. So who cares?
I hear you.
And they give it away they tell you they give it away to charity after a while. They said, no, we gave away those money to Salvation Army.
Yeah, and what happened is they make a friend go form a charity. Harry, go and form this charity over here, and we will now send this money to you. And Harry, remember us, right?
I know lots of artists' money. I remember I got to England like a couple years ago when Super Black, let me just at England, and Super Black, he tell me something like that with I think it's PP here or one of them places, you know. Tell me something like they give away our money.
Hold on, scientists. Go ahead, Devon.
Say they give away our money to Salvation Army and some charity places because they take too long to find. We take too long. But we to come and pay for our money. They have their money so long we didn't find them to come and get it, so they give it away to Salvation Army or some charity place. That's what they told us, you know that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what happens after 7 years. You can't claim back after 7 years.
I don't agree with that. You know what should happen?
So I go through all those things I'm telling you. So what I'm just showing you, I go through all those so I know what's going on, man. So I know now. I know a lot now. So I go through all those stuff. So go ahead, my brother.
Yes. Anybody have anything more to ask Thriller out while we try to wrap up this show today? Anybody have anything to ask him?
Your general.
Go ahead, Fitzroy.
Scientist. At the iTunes situation, we don't want to make a suggestion, but glad General asked the question in terms of what Thriller had said, because you say iTunes, you say if me I pay my money to get iTunes to put up a tune online, or General I do it and you are do it to the same tune, iTunes is gonna put up the same song with all of us.
That's true.
They don't dispute that aspect of the business. Because remember, say, is that digital distribution or sub-licensing, you know.
That's true.
And remember, say you have to use your credit card to really put up an iTunes song for 1 year, and then you have to renew it and renew it. You know. So iTunes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, what I'm saying right now, I don't know if there's a law against iTunes where you can't really sue iTunes because as I'm saying, iTunes don't monitor. They don't really monitor. Hold on, I'm done. I can elaborate, scientist. iTunes don't really monitor which song them I put up because remember, it's millions of songs them I put up per day or per second.
Right, man. This guy's right. You're right. You're right.
So what you said to scientist?
Problem that
hold on. Let me hear from Fitzroy. Fitzroy, finish, please. Fitzroy.
What you said to Triller is very important that he also submit the song to iTunes under his label, and then he can get an IP number and he can promote it and sell it himself too.
Scientist, go ahead.
Yeah, but the problem that iTunes create when them don't pay attention to this. Right, the way you write up the digital takedown notice and what it says iTunes you can exclude yourself from being a party to the lawsuit by just removing it. If you don't remove it and you continue to let it be on your service after we show you, especially in my case where I have a federal trademark, right? And what he probably could go do is to trademark him name. Then iTunes, I'm telling you, you willingly making yourself a party to the lawsuit. So if I was iTunes, two people having a dispute, I would tell my lawyer, okay, here's what you do. Tell them to show a contract. If he can't show a contract and he's a artist, remove it. Or else they're making themselves up because if he have a ruling against the promoter, the producer, he now can say, hey, I told iTunes to take it down. iTunes wouldn't take it down and see, hey, I win. I am the copyright holder and I'm now suing iTunes for copyright violation because I told them to take it down and now I have a court ruling.
Yeah, and him still put it back up because what Francis has right. That's why I like what Francis has said a while ago. He's right. 10 man. If 10 man go to iTunes and say, watch out, put up the song, put up iTunes and take it because I'm the store and I make money. So I put up the 10 man same song. So Francis right where I say.
Triller, I want to ask you a question. You check like Google Play and Amazon MP3 and all them sites if the same song are up in various digital networks or just iTunes.
Me check just iTunes, but this guy have it on all them website too.
No, Amazon, let me say this. Amazon, when you write Amazon take it down same time.
Yeah, man, you have to check out all across and all the digital distribution networks. Them just Google your name and them, go into the site them and see the song available. Cause
I think him put it for all of them, you know. I think because once you put something, you put the song for iTunes, CD, baby, everything, you know.
Original Triller.
Yeah.
Go on
Triller
all
music.
Go on all these digital websites and take pictures of them online.
Yeah.
All of them. Google Play, Spotify, Deezer, name it, Amazon, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, all of the because you have various digital distributions.
You're right, man, and save them the on all of them.
Yeah. You know, and then you can put your thing together and, you know.
Yeah. You're right, Francis, man. It is 1,000 man.
iTunes and the song
right.
in different places, you know.
That's true. You're right. iTunes is like that, you know.
Yeah,
once them make money, they're gonna take your song.
Once the song is available in the public domain, once the song goes out, it's gone.
Yeah.
Just like a CD, it's a master. Once you release a CD, you can't stop bootlegging, you can't stop pirating, you can't stop reduplication. But you have to just protect yourself that you can earn from whatever your work can bring to you.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. What I say.
Listen, we have to bring this show to a close. Is there any last thing that anybody wants to say so we can draw it to a close? All right.
Well, I'm more officer general. I'm more officer big up the panel. You know, I say more respect, shout out to Ruddy Campbell and family, you know?
Yeah. All right.
Respect.
Thank you so much, Fitzroy.
Thanks to this show here today, you know, very important, and I hope the word go out and a lot learn from what was said, you know.
And
Well,
I wanna thank you for being part of the show, Thriller, and I hope you found it interesting and useful.
Very, very useful.
Much
Yes,
respect.
man.
All
Yeah.
right, scientists.
Thanks.
yeah, well, if you notice from the beginning of the show, is the same old story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story doesn't change. The only thing that changed about the story is a different artist.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So
I
true.
second that. That
So
is so
true.
true.
Yeah, that's the only thing that changed.
Mm.
So it's pointing out that there is something fundamentally wrong.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the only way to fix it for these new artists is to going forward, know your rights, to prevent all of this that you see we going. The only reason why we were going through this is because of the lack of the knowledge at the time.
Mm.
Yes, scientist, you're right.
So
True.
true.
Yeah, yeah. So enough respect to the panel, enough respect to the Reggae Business Talk Show. All those other artists out there, you have the final word, not the producer, like what been taught. Claim your rights, claim your ownership, and give it to your kids or your grandkids.
Thank you, scientists. I want to come to Evelyn. Evelyn, I want to thank you for being part of our show today. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I totally loved it this evening. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you everyone for enlightening me on all that's happening and all the corruption that's happening we all know about, but the ways to get around the situations and the things that I've learned tonight has been invaluable. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sharon.
Yeah, it was wonderful again. It was another wonderful topics. Even though we covered them before, just to hear them again and hear Triller, it's
Original
amazing.
Thriller. Yeah.
Apart from that, I want to say thank you, General, Lady General. She's not here today, but I hope and I pray that she on the next show she will be. To the panel, thank you for the all the information that was issued today, and then for some of the people in the chat room who is asking for links from Chris. I will try and get it to them. If I don't post it in the chat room, I'll try to get it in the Reggae Biz show. That each and everybody can go in and take a look. There's a lot of information there. Just take the time and scroll through. You will get everything that you need. All the information. It is in the Reggae Biz on the Reggae Biz page. I thank you guys. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Sharon. Dubby Doo.
Yeah, well, like scientists said, man, it's kind of the same old story. But like I said, and Chris, and if Ruddy was here, you gotta protect yourself from the get-go. Even like we're talking again with the poor man's copyright. There's little things you can do from the get-go, from the start. That you even got the song in your head. You just even started thinking about, hey, I'm gonna write a new song. I'm gonna record this and that. There's so many ways to protect yourself, and that's what you have to do from A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Just cover yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that we can bring into anybody in the show, any musician, is just make sure you know the business. Make sure contracts and all the things they're saying, really take this to heart. If you really want to do this business, you have to do this as a business, otherwise it's not going to work.
Thank you, Dubby Doo. And
bless up.
Chris.
Not much to add, really. I tell you what, I'm envious of Sharon because she can so multitask. She's been typing away all over the place while she's been talking and involved in the show. Amazing.
I'm doing my best.
Hey, ladies. Ladies, how did I do today? Did I
Oh, you
pour
did
enough sugar on it?
wonderful. You really did great.
You were wonderful, fantastic, a man of your word.
Well,
Hey, General, they've been asking me to sugarcoat my words. I have to slam it.
I did. I had was to prepare him before.
oh Lord, it was brilliant. Listen, I want to bring in Lady General at this point because she's going through a rough time at the moment, especially with her son. So our prayers going out to her and her son at the moment. Yeah, and we have her here, so I'm gonna let her say a few words. Lady G.
Oh, that
Thanks,
is lovely.
General. Hi,
Hello, Lady
everybody.
G.
Hey, Lady G.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, listening audience, and thank you to the panel. You guys were great. I was listening on the outside. As some of you may know, I've got some, family issues that I'm dealing with, but the panel, as always, A class, and loving the vibe. And man, I tell you, I really love this show. I learn something every time this show comes on. And as usual, you guys did a great job. Thank you.
You're welcome. Eh?
Bless you. Bless
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, and Lady G, as you well know, is the person who is the mastermind behind this show. So enough love and respect to Lady G.
Big
Sharon,
up, Lady.
does that answer your question? Because you've been very worried about Lady G.
Yeah, of course. I mean, she's the mother of the whole thing, and when she's not there, I'm worried that the guy's gonna, bottle it out. So, of course, but
Run
they did
amok.
good. They did good today.
You
Yeah,
guys
no
are too
pressure, no
kind. You
pressure.
guys are too kind. This show is for everyone,
Did you find the purple wig, ladies?
I went and looked. I must tell you, I did went and look. I saw some thing there. It wasn't you.
I found some other purple items, but
Listen, we're gonna get out of here, and I kind of want to end the show with a particular track which was done by Winston Reedy, and he actually sang it on my Friday night session show. It's called Botheration, and talking about the crooks in the business. So I'm going to end it with that particular song. I'll leave everybody in the panel. You can log yourself out as we go along. But I want to bless up Chris in the chat room, Aishabel in the chat room, Jen. We have Monarchial Entertainment from Barbados. Bless up yourself, my brother. Thanks so much for your support. And Sharon and everybody else on the outside who were logged into the show. I want to just bless up every single person from every single country that logged in today. God bless you all. Barbados, Jamaica, UK, everybody bless up. Take a listen to this track because this track really hits home. I want to bless up, let's see, Lorraine logged in from Miami. Bless up yourselves. Listen to the words keenly.
My germs house, them a drop out. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah. And a be a starvation inna the music business, yeah. You take me big song, sell out a street man. And when me check your man, and you no pay me, you not go live long. You better stand strong, cause if you slip, man, me a go get you. Sell me tuna yard, sell me tuna broad.
Doesn't this tune talk about everything we've been speaking of? Eh?
Of course, I want to do a dub mix on it.
Yeah, man.
Quit. I was going to say the same thing.
Winston Reedy, listen it again.
Them arms out, them a sell out. Them a germs house, them a drop out. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah. And a be a starvation inna the music business, yeah. You take me big song, sell out a street man. And when me check your man, and you no pay me, you not go live long. You better stand strong, cause if you slip, man, me a go get you. Sell me tuna yard, sell me tuna broad, inna your big yard, and with your jam jar. You think you're nice, like a pound of rice. You better
Damn,
roll
this
the dice,
one nice,
a double six for you.
You know it.
What a botheration
Yo, you have to hook up.
inna the music
You have to hook up
business,
beside the
yeah.
culture.
And a be a
Where is it, Bedrin?
inna the music business, yeah. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna let you guys go. We're gonna get out of here. One love to the panel, enough love, yeah?
Yeah, I have to go do my counseling session. I counsel women, that have boyfriend problems.
You do well. Repeat that.
No, for real. I counsel a lot of women who having issues with boyfriend and husbands at home. No, genuinely counsel them.
I hope there's a
No way.
You have to give them the dub treatment, scientists. They have to dub it right.
Yeah, honestly, do that. I actually do that.
That's joke of the year.
Yeah. So I form a center named Center for Distressed Women, and they do call me sometime. I'm telling you, I swear. So enough respect to all the ladies. See you all next time. Bye.
Good.
No.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. God bless.
Bless up, everyone.
Take care. We're going to get out of here. Hope you enjoyed the show today. I'm going to take it from the top and we're out of here. One love. Till 2 weeks' time. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Them arms out, them a sell out. Them a germs out, them a drop out. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah. And a be a starvation inna the music business, yeah. You take me big song, sell out a street man. And when me check your man, how you no pay me? You not go live long, you better stand strong. Cause if you slip man, me a go get you. Sell me tuna yard, sell me tuna broad. Inna your big yard, and with your jam jar. You think you're nice, like a pound of rice. You better roll the dice, a double six for you. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah. And I be a big con man inna the music business, yeah. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah. And I be a starvation. For me and me woman and pick me, yeah. Hear me big song on your station. For how long are you not pay with royalty, formality, criminality? Say you feel pay with broke pocket, empty wallet, dry pallet. Say you feel pay with. Where's your sanity? If you have any, I bring with money. You better pay with. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah. And I be a big gunman them inna the music business, yeah. Them arms out, them a sell out. Them a germs out, them a drop out. Advertise me name on your flyers. And when me work, man, how you no pay with broke pocket, feed the musician. You can, man, you better pay with. Look how long we a sing song and a big song. How you no pay with work quality is plenty. How we money, you better pay with. What a botheration inna the music business, yeah.
I also want to bless up Rockers Corner Radio and Stone Vibes Radio, Melody and Tornado for simulcasting this show.
What a botheration
Till 2 weeks' time, one love.
inna the music business, yeah. And I be a big gunman them inna the music business, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Conscious Partners Network. We are Rockers Corner Radio,
Alive,
Stargate Promotions Radio,
alive,
Kingdom Nubia Radio,
alive,
Stone Vibes Radio,
alive,
E2 Air Radio,
alive,
Culture Vibes Radio,
alive,
Roots Dynamic Radio,
alive,
Afro Carib Radio,
alive,
Reggae Wave Radio,
alive,
Reggae Storm Radio.
Alive.
We are raising the awareness of artists across the globe.
Alive.